Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft Glory franchise mode here in NHL 23. So in last episode, we had the off season. Unfortunately, we did have to let go of, I think at least it was Malik Reinhardt. I don't remember if there was anybody else that I let go of, but yeah, he was one player we let go of, and I'm not really sold on our team fully for the season, but at the same time, I do like our team in a sense. Like, the offensive core looks pretty good, as you can see. Like, youngster Toby Glencross is going to be making it to the NHL team this year, but the defensive core is getting even worse than it was, I think, when we won our two Stanley Cups. Like, Cronwall's dropped back down to a 73. He is getting really close to retirement age. So I'm hoping that at least somebody in our system could take over for his spot in the next few. Actually, I could already get rid of him. I didn't even realize that. I could already call up one of these young guys and give them a chance all season. I think I might actually do that already, to be honest. Because I'm not sold on Cronwall being a 73. So I think I'm going to give a chance to, who's the younger, or the older of the two, Smith Pelly. He's 21 and low elite, 74 overall, so he's got a better chance at developing if he's probably in the NHL. So we'll already call him up, and I think I'll run with him instead of Cronwall. Even though Cronwall just came off a cup win, he is bound to probably drop off this year, and he is making more money, so might as well send him down. And we will call up Smith Pelly for the season just to give ourselves another young guy in, and hopefully a guy that has a little bit of a breakout year. But yeah, I'm excited still for the season. Obviously, coming off of 2 cups in the last 3 years, this team, I don't think will go as far again this year, but you never really know with how teams simulate in franchise mode. So yeah, I guess who's the more offensively minded? It would be Ackers, so I'll put Ackers on the right side. But it gives us another guy with an X factor on a blue line, so that will be really nice. Now, one thing that is really interesting as well is our goaltending situation. So we still have Novikov and Pusher, but obviously we brought back Taze as a depth option again, just in case we get to the playoffs again. But AHL-wise, we have a couple guys that are also NHL ready. Let me actually go down here for a second, fix this defensive pairing, get Cronwall in those pairings. There you go. But yeah, we have 2 other goalies that are technically NHL ready as well, in Bissick and Volk. So both those guys might get a chance to play this year as well at some point, depending on if we run into problems with our goaltending at all. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what this team could do. I think we could make it back to the playoffs. It just all depends if this defensive core could hold up like it has in the last 2 years, and also if this forward core continues to produce. Also, this might be one of Jorgensen's last seasons, so I hope that he has a solid year to end off his career if that's the case, because he is 36 now, so he probably, I feel like, should retire this year. Hopefully we don't get too much drop-off from him. And then, yeah, Parrott's getting close to retirement as well. The other guys probably won't all retire since they're a little bit younger. Maybe Claxton retires at some stage. I don't really know. But, yeah, really excited for the season to see how the young guys do. And hopefully Vico has a good season again. I got to make sure he's actually on the power play here. Is he on the second line power play? No, he's not. Yeah, so we got to make sure he's on the power play. So let's take Darby off the top unit. Get Vico into the top unit because I want Vico to have another really good season. Last year he had 38 goals, I think it was. So maybe he'll have even a better year this year. So we'll get Darby into that second power play unit instead. And yeah, that should be good. Yeah, hopefully our team has a good year ahead. Like, hopefully we make it back to the playoffs at least. If we miss the playoffs, so be it. But I'm excited to see what guys do in general with this franchise mode. So let's get through the preseason and see what happens. I'll also actually take a look at where Malik Reinhardt signs after the preseason, just because I am kind of curious where he signed, because I'm pretty sure that was the only player we lost in last episode, but we managed to maintain most of the roster. So hopefully another solid season ahead for this team. Even if we just barely make it into the playoffs, who knows, maybe we could do some damage in the postseason. So Ricardo Hartnell led our team in points in the preseason with 9 points in 8 games. Hopefully he has a good year ahead for him. He has had some pretty solid years as of late. So let me go to player search, and we'll find out where Reinhardt signed. It was kind of annoying to having to let him go because he's like a perfect 4th line option. But at the same time, he was asking for a little bit too much. So we could have probably ended up bringing him back, but we decided against it. But Yeah, our team is right up against the salary cap, so we can't really do too much. He signed with the Nashville Predators on a 1-year deal at $910,000, so that's a really good deal for him. Hopefully he gets a chance to win another Stanley Cup, but there he is in Nashville. Kind of weird. Kind of weird seeing players they used to have in different teams. Okay, let's sim through the season and see what our team does. What are you guys predicting for wins? Because I'm saying maybe 40 wins. I don't really feel safe with us having like a really good season, but it depends on the defensive core, like I said. If this defensive core holds up, maybe we'll actually have like a 45 win season. But if it doesn't do its job, we might be a team that just barely makes it into the postseason. But we start off the season with a nice 4-game winning streak, 5-game winning streak, okay. 6-game winning streak, and then it's finally snapped by the Vegas Golden Knights. Jeez. Okay, 8-2 in our first 10 games of the year. That is a lot better than I actually expected. A lot better than I expected. Ricardo Hartnell is over a goal a game right now, and he's got 18 points in 10 games. So that top line is absolutely tearing it up, I guess. Let me actually take a look at the contract scenario for a second, just to see who's up for renewal this offseason. Oh, Jorgensen's contract finally comes to an end this year. And he wants a lot of money for an extension, but I'm not going to give him his extension just yet because he might end up retiring. Oh, wow. Yeah, we have some pretty big contracts up for renewal. I feel like we're definitely closing our window soon, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Hopefully, we have one good last run in the playoffs, and if we don't, so be it. Let's just hope that some of these guys could put up some really good numbers. Like, hopefully Jorgensen has a good last year of his career if this is the last hurrah, so to speak, or the last dance, I guess, considering he's a 2-time Cup champion. Damn, we're killing it right now. I don't know why we're doing so good. Is our defensive core shouldn't be similating the way it is right now, but okay, there's a couple losses in a row. Now we're starting to play back to where we should be probably playing, but we are still 16-7-1, which is definitely a really, really good start. And yeah, Keith is over point per game. So that top line is definitely having its best season probably it's ever had. Parrott's probably up at like almost a goal a game, I guess, if Keith's over point per game. And I don't know who else. I wonder how much goals Vico has at this stage. I would check already, but I want to take a look at that at the end of the season instead, because it's always more fun when you find out the player stats at the end of the year and you're like, oh my goodness, so-and-so had 50 goal season. So yeah, we're not even going to take a look at any player stats yet, and we're probably just going to keep the team the way it is for now. We're not going to call up anybody from the AHL. We're not going to make any goaltending changes, that type of thing. I might actually look at the goalie numbers to see if Taves should get a start or not during the regular season. I might just keep him for the playoffs, because at this rate, we should be a playoff team. But if we fall apart and miss the playoffs, then he won't get a chance to play again this season. So 24-12-1, yeah, we're killing it. We are doing a lot better than expected, and Keith is still well over point per game. So yeah, that top line still doing its job. Let me take a look at the goaltending and see if I want to give Taves a couple starts or not. Novikov has an 898. Jesus. Okay, our goaltending has not been good, but I am still not going to be putting in Taves. I will give him chances in the playoffs if we get there, but regular season-wise, our goaltending has not been good. Our defensive play probably isn't that good, I guess, but we're winning a lot of games. So we're a good offensive team, and who knows, maybe that could win us a Stanley Cup again. You don't need to have a good defense to win a Stanley Cup, right? Because we've won 2 Stanley Cups with a worse defensive core than when we had like Coley Minen and stuff like that. So, and Harakala. Also, it seems like, I guess, maybe just having a good coach helps, because yeah, Joe Thornton's just been a really perfect fit for this team. Okay, we had a little 3-game losing streak at the end of the month, which is not great, but 33-17-2. Still over point per game is Keith with 61 points in 52 games. I don't think the top line's going to hit 100 points, but they all might be in like the 90-point range, which is pretty good. 68 points, we're leading our division. Yeah, we're in a good spot right now. We might be like the third best team in the entire NHL. So, even though we probably have bad defensive play, my guess. So, yeah, don't have any complaints right now with the team if we are actually doing this well. So let's go to a day before the trade deadline. Not that we care about the trade deadline, but let's just go to that stage anyways. There's a nice win to snap that losing skid. And then we lose to the Islanders, lose to the Vegas. Couple wins in a row right there, though. Yeah, it's been a really good regular season so far for us. Hopefully we aren't just a first round exit now, though. Because I like getting into the playoffs, but obviously, like I said, first round exits kind of suck. So 68 points now, so it looks like the top line's starting to slow down a bit, which is okay with me. They might all be in like the 80-point range now at this rate, maybe 90 points still for Keith or whatnot, but good to see the top line still doing really well. So, and we are at 80 points now. The last wild card has 74 points, so some teams are starting to catch up, but at least we have games in hand on those wild card teams. So just got to not go on a big losing streak here near the end of the season, because that would probably deflate our chances a little bit. There's a nice win there. Let's go continue simulating. 40 wins, though, before March 1st. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive, all things considered. Hopefully Grayson Smith-Pelly, or whatever his name is getting a lot of growth. Because if he is, maybe that's helping out our defensive core quite a bit. So let's go to the 16th. See how we do in these next 2 weeks. There's a loss. There's a win. There's a win. Yeah, we're having really good offensive games. Like, some games we're scoring like 5 goals. Sometimes we're scoring 8 goals. We do have games where we score randomly like 2 goals, but they're probably against better defensive teams. We're second in our division now. We're 9 points up on a wild card spot. Yeah, we're in a good spot. Heath is up to 78 points, so he is on a torrential pace right now. But he should probably hit 90 points this season. So that is really, really good. This episode actually might be pretty short because I am going through the season quite quickly, but got to wrap up the regular season as well anyways, take a look at player stats and all that. So let's see how we do in these next 2 weeks. We should be a playoff team unless we randomly lose like 10 games in a row to end the season, because that would be really bad if that was the case. But there's 3 more wins. There's 4 more wins. Jeez, how are we almost at 50 wins? When I predicted our things at the beginning of the season, I said 40 to 45 wins. And we're going to hit probably 50 wins. This might be one of our best regular seasons yet. And yeah, Keith is at 83 points, so that top line definitely will finish over point per game. But yeah, since we're one of the best teams in our division, I feel like we're going to be a first round exit for sure. But who knows, maybe Aiden Tays will come into the playoffs and just be completely lights out. Because I feel like I might play him in the playoffs if Novikov and Pusher's stats are still as bad as they are. Okay, we're going on a little bit of a losing streak / win streak near the end of the season. But we finished 50, 27, and 5. That is a really good season. Really, really good season. We finished second best in our division, only 2 points up on the Ducks and Canucks. But with 2 points back of the Golden Knights for the lead. And we finished probably, yeah, one of the best in the league, like top 5. The Preds finished with 109 points, so Reinhardt's going to get to play in the playoffs this year. But the best team in the entire NHL is the St. Louis Blues with 116 points. So we came close to winning a President's Trophy, which is kind of impressive. All things considered, like, our defensive core does not look that great on paper, but we were still a good team. So yeah, we finished number 5 behind Vegas, Pittsburgh, Nashville, and St. Louis. Let's see what we got here. Goals per game. We were the best offensive team in the NHL. I'm excited to see our scoring here. Best depth scoring probably in the NHL in that sense. Yeah, we outscored the other teams that were next closest by 13 goals. So best offensive team. I love to see it. Best defensive team? No, not even close. Where did we finish defensively? Not very good. Yeah, so like I'd say maybe around mid-table. But yeah, our defensive play definitely needs to improve. Hopefully it does in the playoffs. Power play wise, we had the best offense, but we didn't have the best power play, but still like 9th in the NHL. So special teams did their job, I guess. And penalty kill wise, actually we are the second best team on the penalty kill. So we were just not good 5-on-5 in terms of defensive play. It was all good on the penalty kill, but 5-on-5 it was not very good. 7 shorthanded goals this year is one of the better teams in the league, I guess. Home ice wise, we are one of the best home ice teams in the NHL. And on the road wise, we were one of the best on the road, I guess, as well. Pretty good. 5-3-2 in our last 10 games going into the playoffs. Let's take a look at these player stats. We were the best offensive team. Let's see who did what. So, Derek Keith, 91 points and a plus 27. Pretty good for the 31-year-old. That's his best total in quite some time since his 95-point season. That's pretty good. Love to see it from Derek Keith. This guy might be a Channel Hall of Famer. I don't know. He's over 1,000 points already, so really solid numbers from Keith. Hartnell had 88 points and 55 goals out of nowhere. Wow. He became the goal scorer on the top line. It wasn't paired this time. Ricardo Hartnell is a 50-goal scorer. I am so glad he's still signed for 2 years. If he was a pending UFA, I'd be concerned. But 55 goals at age of 29. What a breakout year for Ricardo Hartnell. That's his first 50-goal season. He might have a Richard in his bag, depending on how the rest of the league shapes up. But yeah, Ricardo Hartnell also another solid player in this franchise mode. Paired 80 points this year in 82 games. 34 years old now. He might be starting to drop off a little bit, but doesn't hit 40 goals this year for the first time in 5 years, but he is still one of the best players in this franchise mode and very close to being my best goal scorer of all time, I think, which is awesome. And then Miles Claxton, 69 points. That's also really impressive considering he's an 83. He has dropped down to exact top 9, so I think he might retire at 35. I'm getting the sense that he might retire soon, which is kind of scary, but what a season for him. He's also been a really underrated player. Obviously not the best defensively, but really good passing. It's pretty much him. Left wing wise, Ted Darby, 69 points as well, 32 goals. That might be a career high for Darby. I think it is. Yep, that's a career high for Ted Darby, so good stuff from Darby. He's still signed for one more year after this. And oh man, I feel like I just cheated Vico out of his big contract. But 43 goals this year for Mika Vico in his second NHL season. This guy's already got 81 goals in 164 games. He obviously doesn't pick up a whole lot of points, but he's a goal scorer. And yeah, I am so glad we have him locked up for as long as we do. He might be a good player to put on it like a top line at some stage just to see if he could hit 50. He probably would hit 50 on a top line because he's only playing third line minutes in power play time, I think. Yeah, he's only playing 13 minutes a game, and he had a 40-goal season. So, very impressed with that. Bobkov, 2 goals and 51 assists. Yeah, these two are like a good dynamic duo. Oh my goodness. Like, Bobkov does not shoot the puck enough. But what an assist-driven season for Bobkov. 29 career goals, but over 200 assists. Love to see it. Hagos, 33 points. That's actually pretty good for a fourth-line guy. And it's Sabrin the Enforcer had 12 points. Only 37 penalty minutes, so he's not much of a fighter, which is interesting. Jorgensen, 69 points in his last season, potentially in the NHL if he retires at the end of this year. That was his lowest total. Actually, not his lowest total in quite some time. But, yeah, what a career he's had. He's hit 500 goals, too. So, shout out to Jorgensen, 500-goal career. Good to see him hit exactly 500. Hopefully, if he does retire this year, he has a good playoff run ahead of him as well. Obviously, his plus-minus is still trash because he was an OG player, but still. 55 points from LaRose is pretty good. I think he's a pending UFA again, right? Yeah, so he might end up being gone this offseason, depending on his asking price. And Toby Glencross, in his first season, not bad, 25 points. As a 79, I will take it. Defensively, Morgan Denny hit 64 points this year. Holy. And he's a pending UFA too. This guy had like no business being that good. He just wanted to play really good because his money was up for renewal. I knew I should have locked up this guy, but I decided that I didn't want to give him the amount of money he was asking for. We qualified him for 1 year. Now he's a pending UFA at 25, coming off 64 points when his prior few seasons were all in the 20-point range. I don't know if he comes back because his asking price is probably going to be astronomical. Danner, 54 points is pretty damn good. I believe he's still signed, for a couple more years. Bouwmeester, 34 points. He's also pending UFA. Yeah, so we might have a worse defensive core next season because Bouwmeester and Denny might be both gone. Akers, 21 points and a +9 is not bad. And 20 points for Keegan Strachan and a +29. That's impressive. He might be in the last season of his career. That's actually a career high, I think. Yeah, that might be a career high. Actually, not a career high. No, actually, maybe it is a career high. No, it's not a career high. It's very close to it, though, I think. Maybe it is one. It might be a career high for him. I'm surprised he picked up that much amount of points in a season. And then Smith Pelly was a -3 in his first season. He's up to a 76, so playing him in the NHL was maybe the right call. For sure, because he got a lot of growth from that. And then goalie-wise, Novikov had a good win-loss ratio, but an 8.95 and a 3.2. Hopefully he has a better playoffs, or else I'll have to probably put Taze in. And Pusher was pretty solid, but he's still not the greatest too. Any goalie goals? No, but 4 assists from our 2 goaltenders. Not bad. So there is that. Let me actually take a quick look at the AHL as well. Yeah, Cromwell could have probably been in the NHL still, but he lost his time. Howes might be close to getting to the NHL soon too, which is exciting. Powell, was he a first rounder? No, he was a second rounder. Just got to take a look at all these prospects. Yeah, Lucic probably should be in the NHL again. But oh well. Stanley Burns is too good for the AHL. Some good numbers down there in the minors. Leeson, is he close? He is close to the NHL. I like to see that. At least that'll be a good replacement if like Claxton retires soon. Okay, let's take a look at player stats across the entire league. So the best player in terms of points this year was Malachi Gallant with 97 points. Derek Keith finishes 4th best in the NHL in points. Pretty impressive. Best goal scorer, was it our boy? No, it was not. Ricardo Hartnell misses out on a Richard because Mangone, who we played a lot of times against Vegas, and DeMello end up sharing it with 57 goals apiece. But Hartnell outscored the franchise guy in Lukovic, which is insane. Considering this guy's got 99 shooting across the board, but damn, that sucks that Hartnell did not win the Richard this year. I was thinking he might have had a chance, but just barely missed out. Let's see what else we got here for potential award winners. Takeaways. So best Selke candidate. Derek Keith actually might be up there for the Selke. He had 10 more takeaways than the next best guy with the most. Actually, they might give it to Guerin because of that 55.6. Yeah, because he's 1.6% better. He's got 10 less takeaways, though. But Derek Keith might be up there for a Selke this year again. But I don't think he's going to win it. Desjardins would also be up there. Yeah, I don't think they're going to win it. And then Lilia's probably up there as well. A lot of good two-way kind of guys. Also, this Desjardins guy. Let's take a look at defensive points. You got to be joking me. I think Morgan Denny's going to win the Norris out of nowhere. I think Morgan Denny is a Norris winner out of absolutely nowhere. He has no business being this good all of a sudden. Like, he literally jumps up by 41 points. He didn't even really play on the power play. He jumps up by, not 41 points, by, actually, no, yeah, wait, no, not by 41 points, by 39 points. If my math is right. Actually, no, it is 41 points, right? Yeah, I don't even know. Anyways, I think he's going to win a Norris out of absolutely nowhere, beating out former player Boris Zikov and teammate Ryan Danner. I don't know how he came out with that type of point production, but geez. So there is defensive points. Best goalie. Novikov led the league in wins, but I don't think he's a Vezina candidate with that save percentage. So let's see what we got here. Ekblad's up there in save percentage. Same with Solomon Garnett. And goals against, yeah, it's probably Ekblad, Hornquist, those type of guys. Unfortunately, he didn't have a good save percentage, Novikov. If he did, then he might be up there for it. And then best rookie this year, this Tervanen guy with Ottawa had 40 goals in his rookie season. He was the first overall pick last year, though, so it makes sense. So there is that. The question is, who are we playing in the first round of the playoffs? And are we going to be able to get back to that second round again? We are going to be playing the Anaheim Ducks, who we knocked out last year in the first round, was it? I think so. Yeah, it was last year in the first round. So they're looking for redemption on us. They finished just a little bit below us, 47, 26, and 9. Let's do a little bit of a comparison in the regular season between our two teams, and then we'll take a look at the roster again. They probably have a similar roster than last time. So only 2 less points than us, so that's a bit scary. 20 less goals scored. They are a much better defensive team than us. They were better on the power play, and we were not better on the penalty kill. They actually had a better penalty kill than us. So they're a better defensive team. They're better on the power play, but we're a better 5-on-5 in terms of offense. So there's that. Let's take a look at that lineup of theirs, and then that'll be it for this episode. I don't remember what their lineup looked like when we played them last year, but here is their team. Mario Brossois, I think he was there last year. I know Archer was for sure, and Viacola. And then Spike Cato again, the revenge of the Spike. Will he be able to stab us this time? Aiden Booz is there still, and Sergei Kostitsyn's still there. Third line of Nathaniel Wyman, Caden Chang, and Sergei Tudin. Yeah, I think this is mostly the same forward core. Nicholas Godfrey might be new. Yeah, he is new. He was brought in from the Washington Capitals, but he was with the Kraken last year, so we did play him last year in that playoff run to the Stanley Cup, I think. Leon Enders is also there, and Philippe Pelletier, an 85 overall that they're randomly playing as a fourth liner. They also traded for this guy with the Washington Capitals. Huh. So they bolstered their team a little bit, it looks like, but they definitely have a good forward core. Defensively, though, they're not looking that great. They have Marcus Turkov, Guy Deschaplain, Julian Millman, and Mikhail Martinson, and a top six of Mikhail Kalinin, our former defenseman that won a Stanley Cup with us a couple years ago. Right there. And Clint McLeod. Goalie-wise, they still got Ricky Meyer. How much is he getting paid? Oh my goodness, 10.8. That's a lot. That is a lot of money. And Jesus or Jesus Wilm. He was not there last season. So their goaltending is good. Their defensive core, not so much. Their forward core is really good. And in depth-wise, they have Ezra Hillman, Chandler McInnes, and Bear Da Silva. So I would say forward-wise, they might be better, but we're very even forward-wise. Defensively, I'd give them the upper hand. Maybe a little bit. Actually, maybe not. We have 3 better top 4 players. They have 3 better top 6 players, I think. Or close to it. So maybe even defensively, or maybe we're just a little bit better since we got a better top 4. Or yeah, I would say maybe we have the offense and defensive upper hand. Well, not offensive upper hand. It's similar offensively. And goalie-wise, they probably have the upper hand. Depth-wise, we obviously don't have any depth forward, so it doesn't really matter. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to the first round of the playoffs against the Anaheim Ducks as we look to get to that second round and hopefully beyond that. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.